Everything is full. Fullness there, fullness here, fullness around. If you take fullness out of fullness, fullness remains. This is meaning of the Sanskrit prayer. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's session. Please feel free to say hello in chat and post where you're from. We can move to the next. Perfect. So today is the fourth and final part in our 4-part series where we have guided you through the teaching and meditation segments that Dr. Pillai delivered over the past couple weeks in his complimentary sessions, his seminars that he gave, and we are so grateful for that. Today, we are moving into the quantum creating of your new year, and more specifically, Quantumizing Shreem Brzee in 2023. So just as a quick recap, in our first session, we talked about the quantum physics of negativity and positivity and how important it is to stay positive, that the human mind will continually bring us back to the default, which is doubts and fears and negativity, and it can't happen, and it's not for me, and all the stuff that you have in your brain basically every single day, right? And that challenge is to overcome those self-defeating thoughts that we pretty much perpetually have. Dr. Pillai gave us an amazing meditation, the Ah meditation, and you can revisit the session from Dr. Pillai as well as the session that I did on December 28th that provides you the Ah meditation. That is something you can implement into your daily practice. The pineal gland, what you're doing is bringing the Ah sound up to the pineal gland, third eye, and this is where when you get into that space, everything can change. Your reality can change. And then on day 2, we moved into the quantum mind belief system. Everything that we experience in our outer world has originated in the inner world. The inner is the outer. If we can just access and remember and perpetually reinvent our thoughts on a day-to-day, hour-to-hour, minute-to-minute, second-to-second basis, we could literally change our lives, revolutionize everything in our life. The challenge is being able to be conscious enough to do that all the time. And Dr. Pillai gives us techniques in order to do that. So the visualizing is a really big technique that we want to be doing on a daily basis. And I was actually doing this today because I was doing a lot of busy work and I thought, let me keep my mind really focused. And I just kept thinking, what is the life that I want to achieve? What is the life that I want to experience? Let me think about it now. Let me experience it right now. You can do this on your throughout your entire day. In fact, I manifested a house many years ago on my commute. My commute to and from work, I would just for that hour and a half think about and visualize and see myself in that house and what did it look like and who was there and how did it feel, engaging all of that sensory perception. Even though it's not physically in this realm just yet, you are manifesting it into being. Why? From the inner to the outer. That's the formula, folks. And that's how it's done. So what we have to do is be vigilant with our thoughts and keep our quantum mind and our human mind aligned. So the human mind is all the negative thoughts continually coming at us. The quantum mind is where we manifest from. And quantum Dr. Pillai talks about as the most subtle level, the smallest level. If you can have a quantum thought, then you can manifest that without time. So practicing visualization is key to shifting into the quantum mind and expanding upon this belief system. Dr. Pillai also reinforces that you cannot manifest that which you cannot conceive. So again, putting yourself inside of the situation that you want to manifest. And it's important that you conceive of that. You are able to feel like that is possible for you. And he gave the example, don't try to be a trillionaire, don't try to be a billionaire. If that's not in your beliefs, if that's not already aligned with how you feel is possible, it's not your belief system. Maybe you'll get there someday. Well, he says, don't try to be a trillionaire. Nobody's a trillionaire. Start with, I want to make $100,000 more next year, right? Start with or $50,000 or $2,000, whatever your conceivable new reality is, that is what you should be focusing on. And it is okay to go in steps. So yes, maybe one day you'd like to have X millions of dollars in the bank, but right now that feels far-fetched to you. Start with, I would like to have X number, 10,000, 100,000, right? Whatever that feels conceivable for you, start there. Don't start super big, right? And we can go in steps. So once you receive that extra 10,000 or 20,000 or 100,000 or 200, whatever your number is, then you're like, great, okay, next is even bigger, okay? So make sure you are able to conceive of what it is you want to manifest. And how do we do that? By thinking, quantum thinking in the third eye. The pineal gland can change. This is amazing spot in the midbrain, right? And it is what Dr. Pillai calls the third eye, the physical representation of the third eye. The pineal gland can change your space, your time, your concepts, and then make that real. It is the miracle part of the brain. It is where the siddhas would go to manifest. And if we can tap into that, then we are able to begin to quantum think in the third eye. So how do you do that? You put your thoughts into the third eye. So I've heard from people that, sometimes you can't feel where the third eye is, or I'm sorry, where the pineal gland is, and that might not be easy for you. And that's okay. You just start practicing. Just start feeling, going from the forehead, third eye, between your eyebrows, and feel like that goes all the way in and then down and into the midbrain area. And just start practicing that. And over time, it'll become more, the sensation will become more real for you. You'll be able to start feeling it. Okay, so don't worry about if you can't feel it just yet. Just can do the practice. And when you're putting your thoughts into the third eye, you're activating the pineal gland, as well as the possibility of having a quantum thought. Okay, and again, it takes practice, but when you hit it, that quantum thought can happen, and then that can manifest very quickly. So it's a matter of getting into that space. And then also focusing on your creative visualization. How does it look? How does it feel? The emotions that arise within you when you're thinking about that. And then you can sit in meditation and do this by placing your attention into the third eye and having this thought. You can do the meditation. You can do the different techniques that Dr. Pillai has taught. Or like I said earlier, you can just go about your day and be thinking about it as well. That might not be a quantum thought, but at least you're thinking a positive new manifestation versus some negative reality or a past situation, or reviewing something that isn't giving you any productivity. So that brings us to Quantumizing Shreem Brzee. Dr. Pillai did his most recent session on quantumizing Shreem Brzee, or preparing to quantumize Shreem Brzee, because tomorrow on January 1st, New Year's Day, he will be giving a Quantumizing Shreem Brzee initiation. And I want all of you to come to that. No, shamelessly plug that this is available to everyone, and everyone should be with Dr. Pillai on January 1st on one of the most significant power times of the entire year, which is Vaikuntha Ekadashi, where Vishnu opens his gates of heaven and pours wealth upon us and showers our soul with his blessings and grace. And Dr. Pillai is giving this Shreem Brzee initiation on that day. So very, very important for us to be there with him. That happens at 8 a.m. Pacific time, January 1st. And I'm sure there's links below this video that you can register for that. But for now, what we're going to do is take Shreem Brzee to the subtlest layers of our consciousness by using the technique that Dr. Pillai gave just a few days ago. He gave it on December 28th. And this will allow the manifestation process to emerge from us more effortlessly. When you can quantumize Shreem Brzee, when you can bring it to the most subtle level, just like we talked about quantumizing a thought. When you're quantumizing a mantra and the wealth building mantra, think about the power that has. He talks about how, the mantra is like an atom, and quantumizing is the subtlest form. And you're bringing your energy, your consciousness to the subtlest form with this mantra, the mantra that can literally create for us. So now we will shift into experiencing the meditation with Dr. Pillai. And then after that, we'll I will go through some more key points from Dr. Pillai's recent teaching on Quantumizing Shreem Brzee. After that, I will announce scholarship winners that applied for the Quantumizing Shreem Brzee initiation. There's going to be several of them. And then we'll open up for question and answers. So please get yourself into a comfortable location. This meditation, I think, is about 11 minutes or so. And we'll begin now.
Now close your eyes and then say Shreem Brzee. And put your attention on your third eye. Shreem Brzee. And then go just inside your pineal gland, which is in the middle of the brain, and visualize a flame, and then inside the flame is Shreem, Brzee. While as you chant, you're chanting with your throat. Your tongue is involved. The brain is involved in articulating the speech brain. Your brain is also involved in hearing the sound. These are all taking place simultaneously. Thinking, hearing, remembering, all have to be quantumized, and the miracle will be done by the sound. Shreem, Brzee. You can do, the least you can do is 108 times with awareness of all the processes that are going on. And that is how you become a conscious thinker. Now your thinking is unconscious, robotic. And this is called an advanced chanting called advanced japa. And it works. Not that 108 times you have said, and then at only one time you may have the perfect alignment of the different parts of the brain consciousness to be so powerful. Then you got it. Okay? Then you will see the results. I have done this. And every time you do, you have to ask, where is the result? Where is the result? Where is the result? Then that gives you a proof. A proof. So this is one way of doing it, if you don't want to go to the 1-year program or the January program, that's fine, you can do this, and at least I have the satisfaction that I have given you this, and I will give you more. Keep your eyes closed, and I said that become conscious of the tongue, the throat, the ears, hearing, and then the speech brain are active, and the memory is active, and with all that one, Shreem, Brzee, it will simultaneously erase the mediocre thinking or karma, bad karma, and also enhance the poverty, enhance the prosperity thinking at a quantum level. And then you have to decrease the oxygen concentration and then replace it. You cannot do it by yourself. The sound will transform the oxygen into higher energy. It will unite it with the prana. And the sound has the ability to do that. Oxygen is associated with cause and effect, logical brain. And the prana is associated with the divine consciousness, and will give you omniscience, omnipotence, and omnipresence. So just to think of this idea will create changes. That's why the theory is important. That's why I have built it into this meditation so that you can use it and then understand the mechanics of action. What is the mechanism behind the action, behind the sound, and what is happening within the brain with your body mind. And I'm not gone into the subtle body. We are still living, focusing on this physical body and oxygen and so forth. The prana is, of course, is the highest energy. The prana is God. Now, to enhance more prana, more divine consciousness, I'm going to help you to do this meditation with an added sound, the sound Om. The Om is always will be prefixed to all mantras. The reason being, Om will give you more prana, more divine energy, more life energy, more intelligence. Now, focus attention on your two eyes. Lights, beams of light getting into the right eye, getting into the left eye. Now, another beam of light into the right ear, left ear, the tongue, the throat, the right nostril, the left nostril. And then I'm going to give you the sound, Om. Put your attention on the third eye or the pineal gland and say, Om Shreem Brzee. The sound Om is the fundamental sound of the universe. Associating Om with Shreem Brzee will quantumize Shreem Brzee as well. Shreem Brzee Om. Om Shreem Brzee. Om Shreem Brzee Om. Om Shreem Brzee Om. The quantumization is taking place at the soul level. The soul is a quantum reality. Now, think the sound Om Shreem Brzee as subtly as possible. Not out aloud. Focus attention on the third eye, and the sound is already inside, but not vocalized, not associate with any effort. The moment you bring effort to think, it will be lost. With complete ease, think about it. With complete ease and without effort. Now, at least you will know that you are keeping away all the mundane, mediocre thoughts away from your consciousness. Now, slowly come back to yourself.
Welcome back from the meditation. It was kind of like a active meditation where he talked us through a lot of concepts. So I hope that that was helpful. There are a few things that I would like to discuss in regards to quantumizing Shreem Brzee. A couple of things that Dr. Pillai said on his most recent webinar is that the divine beings are the minutest of the minute. They are even beyond the subatomic particles, and you have to know how to hold hands with it and walk. So he's talking about holding hands with the divine beings and walking with them, allowing them to be guiding us as part of this quantum thinking process, as part of this quantum reality process. And that is something that will be taught in the course as well. He also says that Shreem Brzee is fullness. In the session, he had given the fullness mantra, which we also heard at the beginning of this. And he said, Shreem Brzee is that fullness. We have to work from the level of feeling complete, that we are full. He says, the yogis say, I am full. I am complete. There is only fullness everywhere. And if you take fullness out of fullness, only fullness remains. If we take fullness out of fullness, only fullness remains. So the scarcity and the lack that a lot of us experience is an illusion. And Dr. Pillai is helping to reinforce that inner becomes the outer. When we feel scarce, when we feel not worthy, when we feel like we can't have something, that is the negative mind in action. But it's not the quantumized, it's not quantum thinking in action. It's not fullness in action. It's not Shreem Brzee in action, right? So we have to work from that level, the level of fullness. And Shreem Brzee is that fullness. He said it can be, no, go back. He says that it can, the moment you are successful, that you can conceive outrageously without any limitation, then it is at that point you know the relationship between thought and matter. They're two sides of the same coin. Just like God created the word with sounds, he created everything with sounds. We too can create with sounds when we are at the level of being able to conceive and think at that quantum state, then the manifestations can emerge. So that is what this program is about, that we'll be joining Dr. Pillai, learning to quantumize Shreem Brzee, learning to put this into practice, having a committed community of people doing all of these techniques for as long as you want to do it. There's a year-long program, there's a quarterly program, there's just the live events program. You can pick and choose how you want to participate. But what's important is that we begin the new year on this strong point of committing to ourselves for taking this action and wanting to learn these techniques. So what he also talks about is how, he said, you should know how to quantumize, which is to bring it to the level where there is no difference between thought and object. These are his words. You should bring so you should know how to quantumize, which is to bring your thoughts to the level where there is no difference between thought and object. Imagine that, right? Imagine getting to the place where you're like, there is no difference between thought and object, and then that can emerge. He says, the idea and the object, in Plato had said, idea is everything. Can you separate the idea from the object? No, you cannot. So to say something is to manifest it at that level, at the quantum level. If you say it this is what Dr. Pillai is saying, if you say at a very enlightened level, or enlightened from that consciousness, the quantum consciousness, then you can think and manifest. And that Shreem Brzee will aid in that process. So how lucky are we that we have these teachings from Dr. Pillai, and we have this mantra that will aid in the process of getting us into that level of being able to think at that level. Now, I'm not saying it's there isn't any work on our part. There is, right? We have to be refining our consciousness. We have to be monitoring our thoughts. We have to be visualizing what we want to create, all the things that we're taught over the past couple of weeks in Dr. Pillai's sessions, right? And that's also what the course lends itself to, is to be able to help support you in that process, whether you're joining for 3 months or 12 months. It's not something that just happens overnight necessarily. I mean, it can if you're at that level of consciousness where you can just begin to put it into practice, which is fantastic. But then also we have to work on it. So to say something is to manifest at that level. That's what he says. He also talks about how important it is to be able to think properly and to think potent thoughts, positive thoughts, unlimited thoughts, successful thoughts. And then we will be able to see it on the outside. When we have those potent thoughts, positive, unlimited, successful thoughts, productive thoughts at a quantum level, then we begin to see them on the outside. Again, the inside becomes the outside. And if you are living in a beautiful home already and driving a beautiful car, then that was your inside, able to conceive at a deep quantum level that was possible for you and that you created it. You've created everything in your life, like it or not, right? All the things you love and all the things you don't love so much has been the creation of from you, from the inside out. So one of the ways we can kind of come to reality is to take an assessment. Okay, I've created everything. There's things I don't like. There's things I really do like. How can I shift out of the things that I've created that I no longer want to experience? Very important, right? And that's, again, shifting from the negativity to positivity module, being able to shift out of that. So we're creating everything at every moment. What you've conceived of, you've created at that deep level. And he talks about how the course that he's doing for the year is all about quantum thinking and not even having to spend a whole lot of time, but being able to get into the quantum thought, and that's when the manifestation occurs. So those were the points that I wanted to make in terms of, Dr. Pillai's teachings from the December 28th event, Quantumizing, preparing to quantumize Shreem Brzee. And to reiterate here that we're talking about commitment. And January 1st is happening in just a few hours, depending on where, or already is, depending on where you are in the world. It is the first day of this calendar year, bringing us into 2023. And when we move into a new year, we take with us hope, right? We want to be able to feel like something new will happen to us. And sometimes it works and sometimes it does not. But Dr. Pillai's point here is that put yourself into something that will bring you commitment, will bring you accountability, will bring you your ability to move forward and really make the most of 2023. We have Vaikuntha Ekadashi, which is super power time for Lord Vishnu. And then we also, a few days later, the 5th of January, have the full moon. So we're in a waxing moon phase. We have this most powerful 11th moon of the entire year. And that is all Shreem Brzee blessings. There's so much wealth possibility in these next few days. Also, we have a Saturn transit happening later in the month, and Dr. Pillai has said that that is favorable for not everybody. Everybody has different Saturn in their chart differently, but in general, it's a favorable transit. We could see some new energies opening up at a global level. So these are all positive things. Of course, we're also seeing war in our world. We're seeing financial issues. We're seeing a lot of health issues continuing to manifest. But we don't want to be part of that, right? You don't want to be part of that. You want to create for yourself this life of abundance, of purity, of God, right? One of the modules is embodying your God self. So this is what we'll be doing for the year at Pillai Center, starting on January 1st. We are inviting you to join us. So I said I would announce the scholarship winners. I'm going to do that now. And they are, I apologize in advance for your name, Nesa Vlakovic, Vladkov. And don't worry, we will be emailing you, but Nesa. Then we have Ingrid Van Dyke. We have Francis Scanla, Captain Rajesh Gupta, Kelly Alexander, Denisa Borges, Mrinmoy Dave Nath, Leanne Whiteman, Pedro Renda, Lakshmi Sunil, Larry Wallace, Shweta Parmar, Preeti Gupta, Eva Liebold, Maria de Los Angeles, Ortiz Ruiz. So those are our 15 scholarship recipients, and congratulations. All right, so that's that. Next, we can go to the next slide. I'm going to quickly go through. So I already talked about this program quite a bit, so I'm not going to bore you with too many more details. I will take questions. So as an overview, there are 4 ways to join Dr. Pillai in the Create Your Future in 2023 program. It starts on January 1st with the Quantumizingshreem Brzee initiation. You can purchase just that, or it's part of all the other programs. Then you can join the other live event happening in January. So we have January 1st, then we have January 14th, which is another live event. That's a bundle. You can join for the quarter from January through March, which is the Creating from the Inside Out content, or you can join one of the year-long packages. So the Quantumizingshreem Brzee, I talked a lot about that already, 8 a.m. Pacific time. If you are this is $49. So we made it super reasonably priced so that everyone can participate. And I already talked a bit about that, so we can move on. Next is the new year, that what Dr. Pillai calls the spiritual new year. It's also the Vedic winter solstice, and that happens on January 14th this year. And it is the time where the gods wake up. So it's a very powerful time, and he will be giving an initiation into third eye thinking on that day. So there's a bundle where you can get the January 1st as well as the January 14th initiations. Then if you'd like to join for the first quarter, the 3 months of the year, and this is for folks who are maybe not sure they want to, commit to the entire year, just put yourself into a quarter. What have you got to lose other than $200, right? And if you are not satisfied within the first 30 days, you can get your money back. So you really don't have much to lose if you commit to your this 3-month process. We're going to be talking about and teaching creative visualization. I talked about how important that is. Faith as positivity. It's everything. It is everything. Next is the viewer, viewed as the viewer, which is the same thing as the object, and the mind are the same. The inner is the outer. That is the key concept here. And then Quantumizingshreem Brzee. which we'll be using as a technique that Dr. Pillai gives on January 1st. There's other techniques. There's the meditation, and there's several others I don't remember at the moment, but there are several techniques that will be taught throughout this first quarter. Next is, so that's for quarter one. And then if you'd like to join us for the year-long program, the second module, or quarter two, which is April through June, we're talking about overcoming negative thinking. Remember how important that was? Where you are always, we're so much entrenched in the negative thought process that it bombards us on a regular basis. It is so important to break those patterns. Soul genetics, how is your ancestry impacting you? Biogenetics, how is your physical body, your thoughts that passed on, your genes, how are they affecting your thoughts? Planetary influences continually bombarding us. We will learn how to inhibit these negative thoughts with pranic breathing exercises and a variety of different techniques. Third quarter, July through September, embodying your God self. So understanding that we have an individual soul and that we have a God soul, like a larger soul, and to begin to identify ourselves with our God self. Dr. Pillai talked about God genetics and supersymmetry, which is basically that God made us in our image. God made us in his image, and as one way of bringing forth this identity. Techniques that Dr. Pillai has taught over the years, such as practicing unconditional love. It sounds good on paper, but it's really not that easy, right? But we're going to walk you through that and practice it. Selfless service, how on a regular basis you could really become more in tune with your divine self by being of service to others. So this and many other techniques and teachings will be taught in this module. The fourth quarter of the year, October through December, is outrageous thinking. We will be practicing the more so the thought, thinking from the third eye, thought evaluation. How are we doing? Where are our thoughts coming from? Becoming very hyper aware of that, how to change them. By the end of this course, we really should have been practicing monitoring and mastering our thoughts. Now it takes time, but we have a year together, and that will be a primary focus of what we'll be doing, because thoughts create our world, quite literally. So the last quarter is really just kind of cinching that all together on how we can begin to outrageously think. We've cleared out the negativity. We've incorporated divinity. We have, gotten the techniques from creating from the inside out. Now it's really pulling it all together, cultivating super thoughts to be able to manifest from, out of the box thinking. How can you be outrageous? And then, of course, compressing and bypassing time. Time is always making things slow for us. So this fourth quarter really brings it all together. And then we have year-long enrollment. So if you really want to commit, this is where we have 3 different levels: fundamental, intermediate, and premier. Year-long fundamentals. You will get January 1st initiation. You will get every other week teaching sessions with Pillai Center teachers. You'll get these the fundamental techniques that Dr. Pillai has given for this course, and then 2 monthly pradoshams or karma removal ceremonies. The intermediate is the fundamental plus the January 14th Third Eye Quantum Thinking Initiation. More content, basically double the amount of techniques, because now you're meeting with your teachers weekly as opposed to every other week. Plus, you'll receive a proxy Shreem Brzee Full Moon Fire Lab that is done for you in India. Then, if you really want to go all out and join the Premier, you get all of the teachings that we just mentioned, the weekly sessions, plus another live session with Dr. Pillai, monthly thought labs, which, remember how we talked a lot about thoughts and how important they are? We will spend time in evaluating our thoughts, doing thought experiments, that guided sessions on thinking our thoughts, evaluating our thoughts, doing meditations to begin to clear our thoughts and becoming more aware of how our thoughts are impacting our everyday life. You will also have a personal astrology reading, and then that will be followed up with an individual coaching consultation to help you evaluate that astrology reading, put it into daily practice, what you might be able to glean from it, and how to use it. Also stemming from the astrology reading is customized remedies. You will get, I believe it's 6 individual fire labs based on the remedies that the astrologer recommended for you. So, and then also group daily 9 planet pujas, which are basically covering the bases for all the different planets. One other thing, one second, folks. One thing that we have not even announced yet, and we'll be doing so, we just found out basically, Dr. Pillai will be providing 3 more live sessions throughout the year. I should say 2 more in addition to this one at one additional at the 6-month level. He's going to give quarterly revelatory sessions in the Premier group. So you'll meet with him twice in January 1st and 14th. Then he'll do another one, the 2nd quarter, 3rd quarter, and 4th quarter. And those sessions will be revealing whatever new revelations, quite literally, that he has for us at that time. So we don't have the topics yet because life changes. The planets will change. Dr. Pillai will change. And every quarter, he will reveal to us something that he wants us to know. So that's part of the Premier program, and we're very excited about that. Okay, so the program starts January 1st, 8 a.m. Pacific time. You have 11 hours to make sure that you enroll. I would do it a little earlier because you want to make sure you have access to the live session that starts. But the link is on the video and you can do that now. So I believe that's all we have. Let's just leave this up while I take questions. Let's see if we have any questions. Lise, if you're in the premium course, you do not need to purchase anything else. Those initiations are already included. Because you received something that was only for mystery school. And okay, any questions? And then there was a question about payment plans. There are payment plans for all these options except for the January, I think, except for the first 2 options, whether January 1st and January 14th. Since January 1st is $49, we didn't break that up. That's a one-time payment. And the other options for all the year-long plans have payment plans. So you are able to just make the commitment with the first payment. I'm so excited. Thanks, Lise. And thank you, Lucretia. Just feel eternal gratitude. Appreciate that. Lise says, I have been waiting for this since day 1. It is here. All right, so it looks like we've covered all bases. And if you have any other questions, write to office@pillaicenter.com. We are happy to help you. And we look forward to seeing you on January 1st with Dr. Pillai, 8 a.m. Pacific time. And we are so honored to be here and be able to provide you with these teachings from Dr. Pillai. They are literally life-changing. And the fact that you all have watched these, these free series and taking it in, I encourage you to put it into practice. Even if you don't join any of the paid programs, you have received information. You would just need to really use your willpower and put it into practice. The benefit of joining the program is because we lay it all out for you. We meet with you weekly. We provide you with all the content and everything you should do on a daily basis. We provide you with the community and support and accountability. And if you don't need that and you can do it on your own, then please just make sure you do it. That's super important. We want everyone to have an enriched and amazing, healthy, happy, and prosperous new year. And we're honored to be on this journey with you. Oh, there's one question. Can explain how prana replaces oxygen again. Once I came out of my body and then I saw I wasn't breathing. Yes, so Dr. Pillai mentioned that in this session. And it's a technique that the yogis do. And it's kind of hard to explain unless you've experienced it, but basically to be able to breathe without oxygen, but with prana. That's all I really am able to say about it, because I don't have the full technique. Dr. Bly would really need to be able to provide us more details on that. But when you get into a higher state and the body is not what's functioning, it's the consciousness, then you are literally breathing from the energy, breathing from prana versus oxygen and air that comes in through your lungs or through your mouth or nostrils and into your body. So it's a whole different dynamic of how the consciousness of your body functions with prana versus air. And I'm sorry, but that's all I can explain about it, having not having experienced it. All right, so I think that's everything. Again, thank you all. Have an amazing new year, and we will see you soon. Namaste.
Everything is full. Fullness there, fullness here, fullness around. If you take fullness out of fullness, fullness remains. This is meaning of the Sanskrit prayer. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णम् उदच्यते।